let's do this shit. Okay, let's talk about the best films of 2024. So 2024 has ended. Today, we are in 2025. Okay, hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today, without further ado, we're gonna talk about the best films of 2024. Of course, it is all subjective to my own cinematic viewing experience, to the movies that I was able to see. There are some contenders that I've seen in other lists that I haven't seen, like Conclave, for example, which is fairly recently released, at least here where I live. So maybe it's not gonna be on the list, or maybe one that you like is not going to be on the list. But anyway, it's also dedicated to what I like and whatever, you get that gist. I know that you usually come to my channel to content about maybe Drag Race, because that's what I that's what I started with. So if you're here for that, there's more on the channel. But today we're talking about film. We're talking about what were my favorite movies of the year. And today we have a little list. Okay, here's what we're going to do. I want to talk from spot number 10 to number 1. Okay, if you know me, which probably you don't, you might be new to the channel, I'm a huge fan of horror. It's a big element of mine. It's a big genre of mine. And also, horror is my favorite genre. So yeah, coming in at spot number 10, what I think is one of the best movies of the year. Okay, stop the clock, stop everything. We are re-recording this bitch because yes, I wanted to. Okay. Okay, so what happened was that this video was ready like a week ago, but I kept seeing on the top best movies of 2024 a movie that was not Conclave. Conclave was around, but I haven't seen it yet. I've heard that Conclave is amazing, haven't seen it, but there was another movie that I hadn't seen, and I was like, should I watch it? And on the 24th, since I got ready really early, I was like, I'm gonna watch this movie. I think it's time to watch it. Let's see if it gets into a top 10, and indeed it did. So I am going to change my top 10 best movies of 2024. So I already had recorded this, but I want to record it again. I don't care. I think it's for the best, okay? Because I want to include this movie, yes or yes, okay? So let's do it. I think that at spot number 10, what is the best movie, the 10th best movie for me personally of 2024 is Inside Out 2. The portrayal of a panic attack and this sort of showing these types of emotions, especially the anxiety. I mean, I have an anxiety disorder myself, so to see that on the screen and the way that it was portrayed and the performances, the voice acting, everything, it was mind-blowing. It was very touching for me. So I say that Inside Out 2 is just right there at the top 10 of the 10th spot of the best movie of 2024. Next is a movie that I honestly did not understand, nor did I like the first time I watched it. Then I rewatched it knowing the context, and I was blown away. And it's arguable if you should know the meaning, the context, or more information before going into the movie for you to like it. But it happened to me. I watched it the first time and I was like, what is this? I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I was just confused. But the movie that I'm talking about is I Saw the TV Glow. And when I first watched it, again, didn't understand it. Then I researched online that it was supposed to be an allegory for queerness, or even specifically trans identities. And I was just moved to tears. It was a very hard experience to rewatch the movie, but it is so mind-blowingly good at portraying this, and it's such a and the anxiety of this gender dysphoria that is never explicitly told as this gender dysphoria. Just this sort of there's something inside you that you haven't confronted, you have not confronted. And it is so good. So I Saw the TV Glow. If you haven't seen it, I really recommend it. And coming in on the next spot number 8. Why did I say number? Okay, so I weirdly enough, another queer movie. Of course, you come here for queer stuff. In spot number 8, just related to the queerness and the transness of it all, Will and Harper. I was just moved to tears. Maybe because it's so fresh to me that I sort of confronted my trans identity and my autism in the same at the same time that I've been over emotional over this past year, of sort of like watching my own life through a new lens and confronting life with this sort of like sign in my head of like, hey, this is me. So Will and Harper, and this is a documentary about a friendship who is sort of like trying to not redefine itself, but find new ways to refer to each other, because one of the two comes out as a trans woman and the other one is a cisgender straight man. So it's a very honest and very heartfelt documentary about love and how the world can turn on you, but the ones who matter the most don't. They stick around and they learn. And I'm gonna get emotional thinking about it, but it's just so touching. And it's hard to watch at parts because it's not everything like as progressive as we would like, because we live in a bubble most of the time. When we are queer people and we sort of start to feel safe, it's because we're in a bubble. We're never fully safe, I believe. And this movie shows both sides, you know. And it's truly one of the most moving movies of the year. I think that from this spot upwards, I think that from spot number 8 is movies that really, really, really defined my personal 2024. So this movie is just so mind-blowing and beautiful. Okay. So the next movie on the list is the movie that blew my mind, and I'm talking about Smile 2. I am a huge fan of horror, but it's hard to get good horror movies. I don't know. I like when horror is treated in a serious way, and not that I don't appreciate camp, but even if it is camp, for it to be taken seriously somehow, taking the unseriousness seriously. I don't know. I'm over talking, but the next spot, as I said, is Smile. It is Smile 2. I'm a humongous fan of horror movies, and I was blown away by this movie. If you haven't watched Smile 1, go watch it. It's a little bit like lower in scale, but when I didn't see anything of the movie. I don't like to watch trailers. And whenever I go on Twitter, I only do it when I go like after a movie comes out, and I try to avoid things of prior, campaigning and stuff around the movie before watching it. So I knew nothing of the movie. I had no idea. And the scale of this movie, story-wise, is mind-blowing. It goes there, it achieves it, and then it goes even beyond. It is incredibly well acted. It's the first and only fake like pop star that I've seen in a movie. Yes, the first and only that I've seen fake pop star made specifically for the narrative purposes of a movie, where it feels real. Like, bitch, I want to go to her concert. And it was mind-blowing. And for this, I never thought that the story would go where it went, and it dared to go there, and it was so beyond amazing, you guys. Smile 2 really, like, Smile 1 was a great movie. Smile 2 is like eons ahead, so beyond great. I cannot say enough good things about Smile 2. Okay. Then spot number 6 is another movie, is one of 2 movies in this list that were like technically released on 2023, but they were released only on like the film festival circuit, and they had their like theatrical release on 2024. Okay, so I was very confused while looking it up. It's like, it said it's 2023, but it's like it was released on theaters, and I saw it on theaters in 2024. So this movie is called National Anthem. I haven't seen much of a discussion about this movie, but I want to give it a shout out. It's a way more way different than Smile too, the one that came before it, because it's way more calmed down. It's a more realistic and humane story. It's not supernatural. It's not, but there's such a warmth in every single aspect of this movie, in the acting, in the editing, in the pacing, and the color correction, and the production design, and the writing, and the directing, and the lighting, and the cinematography. This movie is so beautifully done, and it has such a humane beating heart all throughout the movie. I loved it so much. If you don't know what it is about, it's about just a synopsis, not the full spoiler. It's basically about discovering this little queer haven in the middle of a very traditional south of the United States. So the contrast in the encounter of these two ideas of very explicitly queer life and progressive ideas in a place where maybe those ideas are not well seen, but it is beautiful. It's so beyond, and it is, at my spot number 6. Okay, we're getting into the top 5, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, top five, spot number 5, Challengers. I am rediscovering Luca Guadagnino because I met him through Call Me By Your Name, and when I first watched it, the year that it was released, I did not like it, honestly. So I never had a good impression of him. And then I watched Suspiria and I was like, who is this man? I really like Suspiria. So I was like, what? And then I watched this year, ironically, I rewatched Call Me By Your Name and I was blown away. I was like, how did I not like this movie the first time it came around? I loved it. All the way. So mind blown by the movie. And Challengers, guys, I cannot tell you enough about it. It's just the writing, and I think that the thing that drives the most is the cast and the sexual tension throughout the entire cast. It's like, just come on, just do it already. The whole movie, you're like, it is so full of sexual tension. Every single frame between the 3 main characters. But it is so beautifully done as a movie. Again, the color correction, the editing, the cinematography, the way that they filmed the tennis match, the tension, the writing, everything about this movie is mind-blowing. Of what I've seen, I've only seen Challenger, Suspiria, and Call Me By Your Name. I think that it's his, maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I would say that it's his best movie so far. Maybe because it's a little bit more action packed. I feel conflicted because I want to say the Call Me By Your Name because it's so, but I don't want to say Call Me By Your Name because it feels a little bit too personal, because I related to it on a way personal level. So maybe I don't know. But I don't know. Challengers is just that bitch. I was so blown away. I love the ending. Ironically, some people didn't. I did. I think that it ended where it needed to end. So Challengers opens up our top 5. Okay. On the spot number 4 is the movie that I was telling you guys that I didn't see until December 24th, until Christmas Eve. And it is the movie Fireworks. This is the second movie that I was telling you guys that it was technically released on the films festival circuit, around 2023, but it got its massive theater release, and it still hasn't finished. It's still releasing on some countries around 2024. And it's an Italian movie called Fireworks. I was so blown away. And it's easy to see elements of Luca or Call Me By Your Name in this very Italian queer love story. Of course, I'm speaking from an American point of view. So it's very through my own lens, of course. Maybe there's more. But it's easy to see the comparisons, but I think that this movie, while you might see the flashes of it at the beginning, it becomes its own movie. It's so beautiful, yet heartbreaking all the way through. It's basically the coming to terms with being a queer man in Italy around the 80s in the most rural places where you are not accepted, and how two boys handle it and discover what they feel for one another. And it is so beautifully done, acted, shot, everything. And that ending, I cannot stress enough how I was shook to my core. It's just, what an amazing movie. What a telling movie, I think. So I really wanted to put this up here, so I re-recorded the entire video just to do it, okay? And only above it, maybe only because I'm a horror fan, but the third best movie of the year to me is Longlegs, okay? I loved it. I think that it shares a lot of similarities. I'm aware of it, to the sort of like aura of Hereditary, which is one of my favorite movie of all time. You know, one of my best movies of my own personal list, but to me, it's my number one favorite movie. So I get it. It touches a lot of the same things, and I really enjoyed it because it deals on a lot of the same themes as well, of, you know, autonomy and pre-established, like, maybe destiny and stuff like that. How much are we able to control of our lives, and how much is hereditary, you know, because of our family. And it is so creepy. I didn't know that Nicolas Cage was Longlegs, even though it was in the title card. I missed it. I don't know how, but I didn't know that Nicolas Cage was even in the movie. And I didn't know until I watched it with a friend, and I was like, Nicolas Cage is in the movie, and I was like, what? Yes, that's right there in the title color. And we paused it, and I was like, Nicolas Cage is Longlegs. He was Longlegs. And it was so good. It was so good. It was an excellent performance, and it was creepy, and I really, really like how the story unfolded and where the story ended. I cannot recommend this movie enough. And again, I'm a horror fan. Okay. Hey, on spot number 2, the second movie, we are close to number 1. I'm playing a trick on you, because spot number 1 and 2, to me, I am so sorry, but I'm not sorry at all, are a tie, okay? It's a tie for me. I don't like ties, but I just couldn't decide, because the movies are too different, and I think that both messages are meant to be heard and are needed right now in such a loud way. And let me explain myself, because the first movie that ties on the top spot of best movie of 2024 is The Substance. I know that everybody has commented on this movie. I think that it's a lot on a lot of people's list. To me, it is the best movie of 2024, only tied with another movie, because to see how disposable we are. I'm saying this in general, even though it's said through a female lens, of course, and through womanhood. I'm non-binary and I'm trans, so I sort of, I'm not a man. I don't enjoy the privilege fully of, you know, but the movie really shows us how society, the industry, whatever you want to call it, treats us so disposably because of how we look and how we're validated as to how we look, and our femininity has to look in a certain way for us to be validated as women and just as human beings. And I felt that so hard, even though I'm not a woman. Just in general, how looks play so much of a part in confirming who we are, and how it can destroy our sense of value. It's just, the performances are beyond. Demi Moore really deserves an Oscar for this movie. I truly hope she wins one. But if Lupita Nyong'o didn't get one for Us, and, you know, Toni Collette didn't get one for Hereditary, I doubt, maybe because of Demi's story with Hollywood, she might. But it is just so mind-blowing. And I saw an interview with the director, and the interview was guided by Guillermo del Toro, and I love how Guillermo del Toro thanked the director. I forgot her name, but Guillermo thanked the director for not holding back at the end. And I was thinking the exact same thing. The movie at the end goes so beyond bonkers And I'm so thankful for it, because I think that it was the allegory and it was the visual metaphor that we needed to see to really confront what we were seeing. How horrible we treat and disposable we treat people, you know? And it is so mind-blowingly good. Best movie of the year. Incredibly shot, incredibly well acted, incredibly well directed, incredibly well everything. So The Substance. And it is tied with Wicked Part 1. Yes, I went there because I didn't know anything about Wicked at all. Not the movie, not the book, not the musical, not nothing. So when I saw the movie, I was blown away. I was only excited to see it because of Cynthia Erivo, because I'm a fan of hers. But that's it. Like, I didn't know what the story was about, and I was mind blown when I discovered all the real human layers that the story has hidden, of, you know, how to feel othered, to feel like you're not that girl. That song broke me, like feeling like you like someone and you see that chemistry between you two, but you just know that you're not the person that's meant for the other one. But it comes from an imposter syndrome, not from reality, but you keep like diminishing yourself. It's just this allegory about animal control, this allegory for the color of your skin, and the mass control, and it's just what all of these layers of the story. I was so mind blown. The performance, the reveal of Michelle Yeoh being the villain all along. She should have gotten her own. It was Mr. Memorable all along. I don't know, Mrs. Sorry, but it's. And the very humane relationship between Galinda and Elphaba, from haters to lovers. For really starting the movie hating themselves, well, not themselves, but each other, and to really mean, I hope you're happy now at the end. And Elphaba knowing exactly what she needs to do to find justice and what she was meant to do all this time. After feeling lost, after feeling, you know, pushed to the sides by society. And the movie is so maximalist in its approach. I cannot, with the production design, with the costume design, with all the fact that most of the things that you see on screen are practical and real, the makeup, the hair, the singing, the dancing, the choreography, my God, the directing, like, where did this guy come from? I cannot believe it. It is so good. And because The Substance and Wicked to me are so different, yet at the same time both incredibly valuable. One, because of how it punches you in the face to confront something very horrible about our society that we needed to see and talk about way more. And the other one, because maybe it's not as direct in its societal message to reality, but to make a movie at this level and make it that good on all fronts, and to single-handedly, I think, revitalize the movie musical. I haven't seen a movie musical go this good since Chicago, so that's a long time. I think they both deserve the top spot on this list. Okay. Thank you for watching. If you want to know the best TV show that I watched this year, I'm only going to say one, and it is Agatha All Along. I'm not kidding. I was so blown away, but that's it. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more content, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you want to see. I'm a pop culture nerd. I like to see it through a queer lens. And if you want to keep content, if you want to ask me questions, if you want to know more, there is the comment section on each video, of course. And there's the Patreon that you can join. And there's way more content because I have a channel in Spanish that I upload content as well. I have a podcast where I bi-weekly upload an episode. So there's too much content to see. Thank you so much for watching, and see you on the next one.